5. And congratulations, you are lucky you're about to watch the most awesome live stream ever. Yes, my live streams suck, and in fact, embarrassing to the internet. Compared to this guy, I have not been feeling that well. Winter for me is terrible as always, with the nosebleeds and then the bloody hard boogers. Anti-Trekker is better than me, and Kuroga is a sham. It's true I'm holding Averjam against his will, is rotting in Kuroga in prison. For daring to tell the truth, the jerk nobody tells the truth about me and gets away with it. Now off to my sheep baths. I'm just a streaming dirtbag baby. Come to my live stream, don't say maybe. It never ends.
Hey guys, Michael J. Crawford, the Anti-Trekker here, and man, it sounds like that ocean noise is probably a little loud today. Let me know if it's too much, and I will back it down. Anyway, I had a whole spiel prepared for today that I wanted to talk about, but then for those of you that are unaware or didn't bother to look at the title of this live stream, another one of the nerd community has sadly passed away. Admiral of Doom, a friend to the channel, a friend to many of us, suddenly passed away the other day of a heart attack, and caught a lot of people, including his very good friend Rambling Canuck, off. Just came out of left field, and honestly, it's a tough one. It's a tough thing for a lot of people to deal with. And so, to all of you that knew him, I grieve with you. I mourn with you. I just, it's always a difficult thing to deal with when we lose a friend. And, this is the second time that I've had to come on here this year, and this year is only 24 days old, and this is the second time that an old friend of the channel has passed away. That's, I hope that it is the last time this year that I have to do that, because, it just like, it's one of those things that, I get it, on the one hand, death is a funny thing. It's something that ultimately every single one of us intellectually know that life will end with death sooner or later. But what we don't generally think about, and something we take for granted that we are still around. We take for granted that, hey, you know what? I'm, 53 years old. That's, by the actuary tables and everything, I should have about 30 years left in me, but you know what? Could pass away tomorrow, right? And, even if you're in perfect health, which obviously I am not, but even if you are, could get in a car accident. Someone could break into your house and shoot you. Anything could happen. And so tomorrow is not guaranteed. And so we all need to kind of sit back and every now and then remember that fact. Remember that, if there are loved ones in our life that we have, that we're not in a proper place with, like if, say your parents, a family member, something, there's someone out there that, you should be making amends to. It's time to do that, because I will tell you, I thank God, I truly do thank God that in both of my parents' case, I had 6 months warning before they passed away, because me and my parents were never close. And when my dad got sick, he and I made up in those last 6 months for a lot of lost time. And when my mom got sick a few years ago, very similar story. For the first time in our lives, we actually became close, and we actually were able to talk in ways that we hadn't before. And so, I'm very fortunate in that respect. And I consider myself extremely fortunate in that when I think about Mrs. Anti-Trekker, because many of you are, of course, already know that Mrs. Anti-Trekker lost both her sister and her mother within the last couple of years. And there was no warning in either case. And her sister had a blood clot from a broken ankle that she refused to go to the doctor for. So it was completely preventable, but she was stubborn. She didn't go to the doctor, ended up getting a blood clot, went to her brain, killed her. And my Mrs. Anti-Trekker and her sister had a little bit of a falling out a few years back. They hadn't talked in a long time. They were not on good terms, and now they never will. You can't get that back. And with her mother, while they were dealing with the estate from my sister-in-law, then my mother-in-law had a stroke and passed away very suddenly as well. And those things happen. And of course, we were all shocked to find out when Captain Redneck passed away. And at least anybody that hangs out on my Discord, for sure, because Captain Redneck was probably the number one poster on my Discord ever since it was created. And he, in some ways, was the bane of my existence, but also a person that I had a great deal of respect for. And Admiral of Doom, while I didn't know as well as Captain Redneck, I'll be honest, I knew him, but I was not close with him, not like Rambling Canuck. And obviously, I see Rambling Canucks here right now. My thoughts and prayers are out to you, my friend, as much as they are with the family of Admiral of Doom. Speaking of which, and, again, this is, I hate to do this, but it is a necessity sometimes, depending on the circumstances when someone does pass away. So there is a GoFundMe set up for Admiral of Doom's family. And the link for it is in the description below. And I am a person that puts their money where their mouth is, so I already donated to it. I encourage you to if you can. And so obviously, if you can't, don't kill yourself by donating to it. But if you can, please do. But that is in the link. Or that is in the description below, as well as another good friend of the channel, Captain Trek, is going to be doing what will probably end up being a marathon live stream tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. And he will be basically doing a memorial live stream for Admiral of Doom. If you're not already, honestly, you should be subscribed to Captain Trek and Rambling Canuck. But Captain Trek does a fun little live stream every morning. He calls it the Morning Brew. And whenever I can, I join in. Honestly, I'm not a regular on the show, but Bird of Prey is usually there because, Bird's always on everybody's live streams. And so, but, absolutely, if, tomorrow morning, when you get up, tune into Captain Trek's channel. Say a couple of kind words if you knew Admiral of Doom, or just be there to show some support, because, it hurts. It hurts whenever somebody passes like that. And, I know that it's something we got to deal with. And unfortunately, it's something that virtually everybody sooner or later in their life will deal with, is the passing of someone they knew. So that's about all the pontificating I'm going to do today. Other than that, we'll just go to the chat. But, please remember that link is in the description, and I actually meant to post it in the chat as well as a pinned comment. So I'm going to do that right now. And then once I get that pinned, all right. So there's a pinned message now from me for the GoFundMe for Admiral of Doom. And so, please, if you can, help him out. help out his family. I know he would appreciate it. So anyway, to the chat we go on this somber day, but hey, hopefully the year's gonna get better. I still think I honestly do. As rough as this month has been, and I feel horrible because I'm actually tearing up a little bit, and I don't do that. I'm not that kind of guy. But as rough as this month has been for us, I think 2021 is going to be a good year, or at least a better year for many of us. And so I do believe that. It's just that got off to a rocky start for sure. Bird of Prey 5, the clone himself is in the house, was first. Professor Brainy Specs says last, but we all know we know you're second, which is the most honored position in Turdistan, of course. Bradley says this intro is so funny. I do love that intro. It's a classic. I do want to do some new stuff eventually. But right now I'm focusing all my energy into the those short Trek videos, the Discovery rewrite videos, and then I'm going to be working on another super secret project. But I'm not going to release any of that until the whole thing is done. So the Patreons will get a full series ahead of everybody else. History with R&R is in the house. Man. It says hello. Benny Hooker says hello. Michael Garrick says howdy. Cedric says hello. Anti-Trekker Resolute says good evening. Professor says the ocean sounds fine. Okay, thank you. Darren says at least you got that father poop iconography retired. Well, Darren, it's still out there, but yeah, it's not the focus of the channel or anything. I thought it was a fun thing, and I still use it every now and then for stuff, but that's obviously not what the main focus of the channel will ever be. Bradley is crying indeed. Jaegerbomb says R.I.P. Admiral of Doom, losing too many people this year. And man, tell me about it. Professor Brainy Specs says it hit really hard. Sure did. T says, prayers salute Admiral and Doom. Yes, indeed. A Rambling Canuck is there. Mark says, WBY, everybody keep dying, though. I'm not sure what that means. Oh, why is everybody dying? Is that what you're asking? I'm not sure, Mark. Maybe I don't know if it's autocorrect, but something is kind of weird there. I'm not sure what you mean. Richie says, good evening. R.I.P. Condolences to the family. Indeed, JD. Let's see. Bionic Belly Button is crying as well. Certainly understandable. Carlos says, sorry, I wasn't paying attention. R.I.P. Remember life. Live life as if awesome is a downgrade. That's actually a neat way to put it. That's awesome, man. I love that. But just to remember, hey, obviously, as a Christian, I believe that, death is not the end. But that doesn't change the fact that death is the end of your relationship with people on Earth, right? And that is still a sad moment, regardless of how you feel about the other side of it. So, and on the other side, what the Bible says is the tears will be wiped away. Awesome. But for right now, tears are appropriate. Let's see. Robert says hello. Carlos says hail Karoga. No, it's hail on Karoga or fail Karoga, but not hail Karoga. You got to get right. Professor Brainspec says my life just keeps getting worse. No, it doesn't, Professor. I hope you will find a positive outlook. I love you, man, and I do want you. You're such a good guy, and so stop beating yourself up. All right, and we are all struggling with this, but we will all get through it together. Moxley fan says hi. Benny Hooker says it's okay for a man to show tears. I appreciate that, Benny. Jerry says, who is Admiral of Doom? He was a subscriber of mine for a very long time. He's also a very good friend of Rambling Canuck. I'm sure Rambling Canuck will probably be on Captain Trek stream tomorrow, talk about it a little bit if he can. but and he was one of the community. He was one of us. He was a nerd. He was a nerd through and through. And so, and honestly, it hurts anytime, because I know, I mean, yeah, my channel has more subscribers, a lot of subscribers that I don't know, right? Because most people don't come to the live streams. And so I don't know everybody's name. But when I know that someone that was a regular subscriber on the channel passes away, that hurts. And he's actually the third person. Some of you guys will remember there was another subscriber that passed, and I'm not going to even talk about that one because that one really got to me. But that person actually was talking to me before he passed away. He had terminal cancer, and we talked about it quite a bit. And man, when he did pass away, I talked to his wife briefly, and yeah, it's. But he found the channel after he'd been diagnosed with terminal cancer, and so one time in the chat during a live stream, he said that he was enjoying, going through this death process, spending time with the community. And at first, I thought he was like, kind of in a dark way, kidding around, but then I found out he was absolutely serious. Larry King also passed away. I did hear about that, although honestly, Larry King passing away, not exactly a shocker. I do think what is a shocker is how healthy and vibrant William Shatner looks when he is literally less than 2 months from being 90. And Richie says, I've been watching TOS from start to finish for the first time in years. I can still recite most of the lines word for word seconds before they say them. Oh, me too. TOS will always be ingrained in my brain. If I ever have Alzheimer's or dementia or something, that'll be the one thing I will never forget. Like if I'm having one of those crazy fits where I'm yelling at people, someone can put on, Balance of Terror and I'll calm down or something. Fenner Fire says, R.I.P. Admiral of Valor says, just got here, didn't get the notification, but thankfully Viv did. How are you doing? Kind of rough today, Valor, as you may have figured it out already, but yeah, Admiral of Doom, a good friend of the channel, passed away the other day of a heart attack, so we're just kind of hanging out and dealing with it together. Alex says, have you seen that biblical movie narrated by Roddy McDowell? I'm not sure. You'd have to give me the title. I'm not 100% sure. It's kind of funny you should ask, because I was going to talk about biblical movies today before the whole thing with Admiral of Doom came down the pipe. But maybe I'll save that for next week. Darren says, let's talk about that Godzilla Kong trailer to lighten the ambience a little bit. I'll tell you that for those of you that haven't seen it, they did kind of out of left field. They did drop a trailer for Kong versus Godzilla, or Godzilla versus Kong, whatever it's called. And dang, I gotta say, that trailer looks pretty good. I'm looking forward to it. I truly am. I mean, it looks like a great monster mash, and the two of them are literally duking it out on the deck of an aircraft carrier. It's like just awesome. I mean, granted, physics are definitely taking vacation for that scene, but it looks awesome. So I am looking forward to that. And that was Admiral Doom used to say that, to live your life as if awesome was a downgrade. Well, gosh darn it, we need to remember that. That's a great saying. It was one of his rules. Okay, you know what? We need to remember that, guys. We need to remember that. And here's what I'm going to tell all of you guys that are here right now. Whenever we start a live stream, let's throw rule number 129 out there. That's how we pour one out for Admiral of Doom. And not just here. We should do it on Bird streams, Captain Trek streams, Rambling Canuck streams, wherever we are. Let's remember rule number 129. And so that's actually... that would be cool. And memorial funds at 2%. Awesome. I know they got a ways to go, but I do see that several people have donated already, including John Purple, Thomas Potts, thank you, and Bird O'Prey 5, thank you, to all of you that have. It's one of the very few times, I know what a greedy bastard I am, but it's one of the few times that I don't mind seeing money going someplace other than to my channel. And so thank you to all of you that gave. And I know that some of you guys dug deep for that. And so thank you. Let's see. Where was I? 2021 isn't a race, says Star Wars and Trek are dead. Very sad. I don't think they're completely dead, especially Star Wars. I'll tell you, I think The Mandalorian has kind of revived Star Wars a bit. It's now no longer on life support. Still in critical condition, but I don't think it's dead. Star Trek, who it is on life support right now. If Strange New Worlds doesn't knock it out of the park, we may have to call the time. Professor Brainy Speck says, thank you everyone for helping with the Memorial Fund. Indeed. And let's keep it going. Remember to spread the word on everybody's live streams where people you know. Save the link. If you can't, look, I get it, right? We're not all made of money, right? So if you can't donate, don't feel bad about it, but do your part and help spread the word. Help make sure that people know about it, because that does help. Because the more, people can't give to a GoFundMe if they don't know about it. And I would hope, and I know a lot of you guys would, I would hope that if it were me, that, people would do that for me. So I can't expect anything less when it's somebody I know than to do that for them. And that's why we're talking about it right now. And so, let's see. JD says, my daughter will be a week old in a few hours. I'm already exhausted. Any advice on fatherhood? Yeah. That exhausted feeling you're feeling right now, get used to it. My daughter, 26 years old in about a week. Get used to it. It ain't going away. Rest. You're done. It's over. You are done. Especially with a daughter. You will be worrying about her until you die. So, yeah, have fun with that. Larry King was kind of a jerk later on. Enjoyed it when I was a kid. I hadn't watched him in a very long time, so I don't know. I was never really into the Larry King show. I didn't, he had a lot of interesting people on his show, but I didn't particularly like his style of interview. And let's see. Excuse me. Rambling Canuck says, thank you all. Truly, thank you for myself and his family. Thank you. Absolutely. Well, Rambling, I wish I could have afforded to give more. I gave, honestly, I was cutting it close given what I gave. And so I'm sorry I couldn't give more. And hopefully, I truly hope if this channel ever takes off, when these kind of things come up, I want to be able to do more, because that's what it's all about. Dear Trigger, do you think Kong will use his Toho incarnation's electrical powers in the upcoming MonsterVerse film? I don't think so. And I only say that because I think that's a bit cheesy. I mean, they just made that up so that Kong would have some kind of counter to Godzilla's powers. But in this, at least from the trailer, it looks like Kong is just a pure brawler. And probably from the looks of it, like when Kong punches, there's a beautiful shot. Kong punches Godzilla in the face, and you could tell it hurt Godzilla, right? And not only that, but the way, when you look at Kong's face, Kong seems more intelligent, more agile, and stronger. While Godzilla is overall tougher with the scales and all that, and has a very powerful ranged attack. So I think it will be an interesting matchup. And let's see here. Ramley Canuck said he would be honored and love that answer. You're talking about keeping the rules going? Well, let's do it. I'm telling you. Let's make that a thing in the nerd community. All right? Absolutely. And England DG, my old friend, is here. Says, just stopping by to extend my condolences regarding Admiral Doom. Thank you so much, England. I hope you are doing well, my friend. Andrew, I recommend looking up Matt Frank. He does a lot of artwork for IDW's Godzilla comic books. His stuff deserves more and more attention. It's great. I have not, I don't know the name. I'm sure Darren Wagner does, because he knows like everything about comics. But, it's funny. I have the Marvel comic Godzilla #1, but that's it. Is it Rule 125 or 129? 129, I believe. And let's see. Professor Rain Specs wants me to check Twitter. Let's see. Very nice. All right. So let me see. Save image. Thank you, Professor Brainy Specs. Bear with me just a second, guys. This is important. All right. So give me just a minute while I get this taken care of. You'll see why in just a minute. Let me go here, and we'll just put it right here. 9. And gotta bring this up. I swear it's gonna be worth it in just a minute. Thanks to Captain Brainy Specs, or Professor Brainy Specs, Captain. Let's see. I'm gonna go to the C drive, live stream. Hey, where are you hiding? Come on. All right. There we go. So we're going to put that right here. And we'll put the cat there. How's that look, guys? Tell me. How's that? I love it. Let's see. And so JD says, appreciate the warning. Not sure why. Oh, about the yeah. It's over, man. It's over. England says, oh, no, daughters are great. Well, daughters are great. Don't get me wrong. But you're never going to get rest again. Nice advice for new fathers. Very uplifting, very positive. Thanks for that, Dick. Hey, sorry. Being honest makes me a dick, okay? My advice on fatherhood, that caution you feel is a wonderful thing. Embrace it. Yeah, and that's the thing. It's, one of my favorite lines of, and I wish I could quote it exactly because I can't. I can only paraphrase it a little bit. But the is from Tuvok, when Tom Paris was asking Tuvok about having children, and he explains that children are a paradox because they are the single greatest source of both joy and frustration in your life. There's nothing more accurate than that. That is 100% true. Dottie says, hello, Michael Paul's splendid. Well, not splendid, but, we're hanging together right now and pouring one out for the Admiral. They show Kong using the tools and weapons in the trailer. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Kong definitely seems more intelligent than Godzilla and more agile and, quite frankly, just stronger. England says, just roll with the punches. Don't try to plan things out too much. That side, don't skimp on discipline as they are younger. If it's ingrained when they're young, it holds on as they age. Indeed. Speaking of Godzilla, I've seen a trailer for Godzilla vs. Kong. Yes, we were talking about that just a few minutes ago. Just teach you to respect themselves, respect others, and you'll be fine. That is true, my friend. That is, that's... it's tough, but that's true. It seems so simple. And it's simple in principle, but it's still tough. The total and legendary version of Kong is way larger than most other versions. My personal theory is that Godzilla in the trailer is an imposter. Well, you think that Godzilla in the trailer is not really... Because they do say Godzilla's acting weird. And, so I was wondering, I don't know if they're going to go that weird with the monster verse or whatever they're calling it, but... Could it be that this is like Godzilla from the original concept of Mechagodzilla, where it's an imposter Godzilla that is actually Mechagodzilla made by the aliens, right? Remember, it was the aliens from Planet X originally or something like that. And so, which I would love for them to embrace that level of cheese, but I just can't see them doing it. Oh, and there we go. Resolute says, do you think they'll work Planet X into Kong versus Godzilla? I think it is possible if that Godzilla is a fake. And then that Mechagodzilla could take on Godzilla and Kong together, and that could be your climactic battle. That could be cool. And Blaine throws $5 in. Thank you so much, Blaine. There it is.
Blaine is $5. 2021, you do not have to out dumpster fire 2020. Stop it. R.I.P. We will see you beyond the rim.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, my friend. I do appreciate it. And as much as I do truly appreciate it, believe me, I'm not going to tell you don't super chat me because, I don't want to go broke. But at the same time, if you can, throw a couple of bucks at Doom's family because they do need it. Link is pinned up above on the chat and also in the description. Why is Kong 10 times bigger than his original incarnation? Because true King Kong, whether it be King Kong from the original film, even King Kong from the 1970s version, or King Kong from the Peter Jackson remake, would simply get stepped on and squashed by Godzilla. There would be no Kong versus Godzilla. It would be Godzilla Finds a Snack, would be the name of the movie. So that's why. Which actually would make a great movie. Godzilla Finds a Snack. That's... Carl says, hey, Trekker, Bird of Prey 5, maybe you'll be able to put some Doom's rules on the Trekker website or birdofprey5.com. Not a bad idea. I don't know all the rules, but if you have them all, Professor Brainy Specs, you can send them to me because we should do something with them. We really should. Kong was not full grown on Kong Skull Island. No, he was, well, Kong Skull Island, the movie, it looks like, to me, he was as big as he is in this movie. He's about the size. But what we're saying is like Kong in Kong Skull Island is many times larger than the original Kong concept. And a perfect example, like Peter Jackson's Kong actually does a good job with the scale of Kong. He's supposed to be about 25 feet tall or so, which is big for sure, but not that big. And let's see. Dear Ed Trigger, have you considered reviewing the 90s Gamera trilogy? I didn't know there was a 90s Gamera trilogy. I've seen some of the old Gamera films, which are very cheesy. I mean, they make Godzilla look like Citizen Kane. But no, I've never actually... I didn't even know about them until you just mentioned it. Donnie says, among the Viacom, CBS Stars, Anson Mouse, Captain Pie... Oh, you're talking about Strange New Worlds. Yeah, I hope that it's good. You old boomer. Hey, Tim. Jedi Bill. Hey, how you doing, Jedi Bill? You are a nutcase, my friend, but I hope you're doing well. And it says, Hello, Trigger. Doom's rule number 185. Buy a man a plane ticket. He will fly once. Push him out the airplane, and he will fly for the rest of his life. Oh, man. We need to get the whole list together. Alexander says, looks great. Yeah, I'm going to keep that there for the time being, because I do love that one. So that is a great one. Hope you're doing well. Sorry for everyone's loss. Thank you, Dreamer. 2 antennas get married. I heard the reception was amazing. Wow. That's bad even for you, Valor. That's really bad. Jedi Bill puts in rule number 4. Oh, I forgot. Is that the actual rule? I don't remember that one. Valor says, a man gives up his seat to a blind man. I hear he was later fired as a driver. Wow. Oh, man. That's just messed up. All right, so Captain Trek says, I know Bionic Belly Button has all the rules. Okay, well, in that case, we need to get them all together and do something with them. And so, in fact, you know what? I don't know how many they are, but I think, you know, honestly, I may, if someone can get me the complete list, I will do a shorts series on it, since I'm experimenting with the YouTube shorts thing. And so I will put out 2 shorts every day, one for the Star Trek thing that I'm doing, and one for each rule by Admiral of Doom. I think that would be fun. Captain Trek says, I read that. She told me the size doesn't matter moments before she walked out. Darren says, Classicon is 50 feet tall. Sorry, my bad. Not 25. You know what? I was probably thinking of Mighty Joe Young. That's probably what I was getting confused. But still a snack for Godzilla. Absolutely. An episode of Pee-wee's Playhouse introduced you to Gamera. I was introduced to Gamera by Mystery Science Theater. David did take down Goliath. Maybe Little Kong wouldn't do so badly in such a fight. I guess we'll never know. Yeah, you know, that would actually be interesting if Kong... Because Kong could be potentially much faster than Godzilla. And would seem like a total underdog. But then what would Godzilla do if Kong climbed on his back, right? What are you going to do at that point? Godzilla can't shoot his thing behind him. So, but yeah. Enter Rambling Crew, I can get all the rules to you if you want them. Don't... I can get all the rules to you if you want them, don't have them. Wait, huh? Are you saying you do have them or you don't have them? Yeah, I do not have them, if that's what you're asking. Yes, Professor Brady Specs, if you have the whole list, send it to me on Twitter, and I will start working on those tomorrow. England says, for example, my parents taught me the value of money very young, never had an allowance, got paid for chores per chore. My parents did the same thing. I never had an allowance. I was talking about the 2 new Paramount Plus Expedition commercials. Michael, the ones that I rated by Sir Patrick Stewart. Yeah, I haven't seen them. I don't really care for, I watch CBS All Access for the content, but I don't care about their promos. And let's see. Resolute says the 90s Gamera don't have an official sub, so it may be hard to review. Ooh, that would be tough. When I hit a certain age, about 10, they made me start to earn a portion of my major purchases, like my NES, but doing things on my own, like mowing lawns and other things for neighbors. Oh yeah, I was our next door neighbor. I used to mow his lawns. There was actually, if you've ever heard of the organization Canine Companions, the founders of them lived right up the road from us. Now, I grew up on a ranch, and so right up the road is like, almost a mile away. But when they would go on trips all the time because they were doing conventions and stuff for animals for the disabled, because they were the founders of Canine Companions, which is a great organization. And but they had dozens of dogs, and then they have some goats and some other animals. And so whenever they would go on these trips, I would go up there every morning before school, and every afternoon after school, and every night before bed, and feed all the animals. So, Trust says, evening everyone, enjoying the Star Trek reviews, keep them coming. My plan, Trustin, is that, and I'm going to go for at least the entire first season of the original series, and see if people are enjoying it. If they are, I will continue through the entire original series, the animated series, TNG, all the way through Discovery. If people don't care, then I'll probably stop after the first season. Because they're fun, but they are a lot of work, especially considering that you don't get any monetization out of it. But we'll see what happens. That was a dad joke. And I'm not sure, did I miss it? Or am I think I'm just old. Multi-Gunman says, how's it going? Multi-Gunman, rough day, to be honest. Well, rough weekend, since we lost Admiral of Doom. But, holding together. Let's see. Professor says, I think there are 200 rules. That's cool. That's 200 short videos. You're right. Gamera versus Gyron had Gamera doing cheesy gymnastics flips. Yeah. Although nothing quite matches the cheese of Godzilla versus Megalon, which is the first movie I ever saw in theaters. So, but that is like the cheesiest monster movie ever. If you want a good kaiju movie, do not watch Godzilla vs. Megalon, where Godzilla and a robot called Jet Jaguar tag team Gigan and Megalon in what really boils down to a very cheesy wrestling match. And yeah. And what's really frustrating about it is it was probably the single funniest episode of Mystery Science Theater 3000 is when they did that. And it's like impossible to find because Toho did a cease and desist on Mystery Science Theater on that episode because they didn't like them making fun of their cherished property, Godzilla. I have a bizarre theory. Godzilla's been infected with a mutated sea lice. Godzilla in 1984, which is screwing with his mind, turning him into a berserker. It's the work of Econuts. I could see them doing something like that, but I still like the Planet X theory better. Shin Godzilla could shoot his nuclear weapon from his back and tail, but that's a different Godzilla, of course. I did not care for Shin Godzilla, to be honest with you. It just didn't work for me. Where Godzilla is like constantly evolving. I mean, he's like a Pokemon in that one because he kept evolving. What do you call 3 wings of TIE fighters in Star Trek? Skeet shooting. That is an accurate statement. In Kuroga, we make Turtistani orphans earn their meals by working them in the uranium and coal mines that builds character. Yeah, those aren't Turtistani orphans. I know Bird wants you to think they are, but yeah, they're not. Lancer says, sorry about your friend. Thank you, Lancer. Alex says, Trigger, what would you enjoy seeing War of the Gargantuans remake? It's set in the MonsterVerse. They probably make them Kong clones rather than Frankenstein clones. Well, that would make more sense. I don't know. I'm curious. Let's wait and see what Kong versus Godzilla comes out to be, and then we'll worry about what's next. And let's see. I messed up the joke. It's supposed to be, what do you call TIE fighters flying at the Enterprise skeet shooting? Close enough. I think we got your point. Lancer says, wasn't Jet Jaguar or Jet Ultraman or a spoof of Ultraman? He looks very much like Ultraman. And let me see if... let's see. I want to see if there is a good image of the two of them side by side, because they are remarkably similar. And wow, they're not exactly the same, but I think clearly one of them inspired the. I don't even know which one predates the other. Just trying to find a good side-by-side of the two of them. And let's see. Here's a decent one. All right. Open link in window. All right. So here's a little picture of the two of them. From Instagram, but you can see, that they are. Let me just trying to make the picture bigger, but yeah, Jet Jaguar and Ultraman are remarkably similar. How do you make it? Yeah, it won't let me make it bigger than that. But yeah. All right, back to it. Darren says Godzilla Final Wars is the bomb. It features almost every Showa era kaiju and even has Godzilla fight the American Godzilla from the Roland Emmerich film. Yeah, I did like that. Godzilla basically curb stomps Godzilla from the Roland Emmerich film. It's like, and it's funny because they were like, "Oh, the Godzilla attacked America." They go, "No, that wasn't really Godzilla. They mistook him." Would you consider The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai across the 8th dimension for movie nights? I would. I saw that movie in theaters, and it's really stupid. So yeah, I probably would. I don't know but I've got to see if I can find a legit copy of Godzilla vs. Megalon. I don't know if Matthew's seen it, but it's so bad. I don't know what's more cheesy, Godzilla flying in Godzilla versus the Smog Monster or flying drop kick, both physics defying. Yeah, the flying drop kick to me beats all. The flying in Godzilla versus the Smog Monster, at least you can kind of sort of get behind the make-believe physics of it, where he's using a sustained blast of his atomic breath to propel him, right? Okay, fine. It's stupid, but at least it kind of makes sense. The flying drop kick is like so ridiculously stupid. It's just pathetic. Have you heard that Toho plans to do their own shared universe of Godzilla movies? I have not, but they've been doing a shared universe of Godzilla movies since the 60s. Darren says, War of the Gargantuans is actually a sequel to Frankenstein Conquers the World, an earlier Toho film. I've seen Frankenstein Conquers the World, but it's been so long that I barely remember anything about it because I didn't care for it that much. And let's see, didn't care much for Shin Godzilla either. He was taken out too easy. I didn't like the concept. I didn't like the design. I didn't think the story was compelling. I was really excited. Ooh, a new Toho Godzilla movie, and then I was like, your family calls you Buckaroo, says Lancer. Well, there you go. Let's see. What about Godzilla movie with Matthew Broderick? Not good. That's the Roland Emmerich film that we were talking about. That's in the Toho universe. That monster They actually, I mean, this is how bad Toho hated that movie. Because basically, I can't remember, I'm sure Darren knows, I can't remember which movie company produced the Roland Emmerich film. But they basically licensed the rights to Godzilla from Toho so they could make this American version of it. Toho found it completely offensive. So they bought the rights of that character back just so that they could bring him into their MonsterVerse and have Godzilla curb stomp it. And plus make fun of how stupid the Americans were for thinking that was Godzilla. And Dreamers out there says, the new trailer dropped this weekend. I just got a new Transformers Robot T-Rex and a new Transformers Beast Wars Ape, and they both resemble how Godzilla and Kong stand. That's interesting. Godzilla versus COVID-19 sounds cool. You know, it does. That's actually funny. That could be like that monster is COVID-19, you know. The Mechagodzilla movies were fun to watch. Yeah, but remember, Mechagodzilla originally everybody thought it was Godzilla. Like, why is Godzilla attacking? Why is Godzilla attacking? And then they attack Godzilla, and when they shoot it, like, in the shoulder, they're like, wait, what's going on? Because they see metal instead of, like, blood and stuff. And that's how it's discovered that it's Mechagodzilla. I could absolutely see that. And Admiral Small says, are the super chats working? Some of them, yes. And I played a few the other day, but you left. You didn't see? Good movie for movie night would be Inner Space, a classic. Oh, yeah. But remember, we want more. I mean, Inner Space is cheesy, but it's not over-the-top cheesy. Like, we want pure, unadulterated cheese. Like, not even real cheese. Pasteurized, processed, cheese-flavored food product. That's what we want. That's why Sharknado is so perfect for it. Viv says, I'm sorry to hear about Valor's terrible jokes. I warned him I would take the keyboard from him if he told any more bad jokes. It's okay, Viv. You know what? Anything to get a smile tonight, because it's been rough for a lot of us. I want to see Kong get wasted on berry juice like in the original. I don't know if I don't think they're going to do that. Just saying. Apparently Godzilla's in the Ultraman series. He's heard in a flashback and is mentioned by name in one of the episodes. I don't remember him getting mentioned by name. I do remember. It's kind of funny the way they, because and they do this at a lot of creatures in the Toho world, where they take various monsters and they dress them up slightly different. Like I remember, it was Ultraman. I'm 99% sure it was Ultraman, where it was the Godzilla suit. It was obviously the Godzilla suit, but then they put like what looked like a big leaf of lettuce around his neck, like that was supposed to be a flap, and it was like, ooh, that makes it something different. But it was just Godzilla with a big piece of lettuce hanging around his neck. And Darren says Mechagodzilla was originally basically a large T-800. Very true. And Joe Biden.
Biden $1. Yes, Americans are stupid. I'm enjoying a dinner with Matthew. He is laughing at him ignoring his Discord, whatever that means. Anyway, have a good Christmas and Easter. I don't even know what I'm signing right now, but hail Karoga number 22.
Thank you, Joe Biden. And in fact, you know what, Joe Biden? Let me see if I can find it here. What number is it? When I was setting up the super chats, I found one. Yes, there it is. I found a super chat that has not ever been released before. So because Joe Biden is nice enough to donate, I'm going to show this new super chat that's actually, I've had it for a little while, but keep in mind that this super chat was developed in the height of the COVID stuff. So there's a little bit of that to it. And it's not the one with the lady buying the toilet paper. Well, that's another one. But here we go. Why is it playing that?
Into range.
On screen.
Hold on. Let me go back to, because let's see. We got to turn that off. There we go. All right, now we go to the super chats. And this is, by the way, super chat number 24.
Remember those lovely days when the milkman would show up to give you your much-needed calcium? Well, now the trend is returning with us. Utter Joy Milk Delivery Service. At least it won't kill you.
There you go. So thank you, Joe Biden. I do appreciate it. And so where was I? What I like is that Godzilla steps on cars for some reason they're all American brand cars in Japan. Yeah. Lance says, the third Mechagodzilla was my favorite. He's both mech and necro Borg built into the skeleton of the original black and white Godzilla. He's a ghost who would take over the mech sometimes. I remember that. And although I think that's a bit much, I like the whole Planet X thing. That's what I want. Moon Jumpers in the house says, good evening, Antracker. Title indicates loss of another friend. My condolences. Yes, Admiral of Doom, a good friend of the channel, has passed away. In the description at the below and the linked or pinned link above at the top of the chat, if you can donate a couple of bucks to the family, and hopefully they're all doing well as can be, I should say. And Darth Maul says, what about this movie? And throws an IMDb link in there. Let me see, what is that? Oh, there's a classic, The Car. I remember The Car. The Car is about a sentient, possessed car. Although, Steven Spielberg's movie, Duel. Now, that's creepy. The Car is just kind of cheesy. The Car, I don't know if it quite has the level of cheese we want, but I'll have to review it sometime. And when I say review, I mean like rewatch and see if it's worthy of a Matthew movie night. I do really like the idea of doing Godzilla versus Megalon, though. And another thing, and this is something that Wes and I were talking about earlier. One thing what we're going to probably do, it's going to take a couple of movie nights to get through, but to watch. The series Trigun, because Wesley gave me a copy of Trigun a long time ago. I've been meaning to do reviews of it, and I've just never gotten around to it. So he asked, "Hey, how about doing it on a movie night?" And I said, "You know what? We should do that, because I feel horrible about some of these reviews I promised to do and never got to." So, and also I think another one that we should do sometime, since Darren, you're here right now, we should watch the Hulk premiere together sometime, because that's a fun one. And Bird, no, there are still only there are 29 super chats, but that one is actually number 24. I don't know if you remember, but when the last time Admiral Saval asked me to play all the super chats, 24 was missing, and I don't know what happened to the file. So that one replaces number 24. But let's see. Can't click on links. Anyone else? Problems on my side? I would think so. I hope so. Radio goes to the doctor. Doctor asks, what's the problem? The radio says, I have some pain. It mega hurts. Oh, jeez. Daniel says, R.I.P. Larry King. Yes, indeed. And likes the new super chat. Sean says, the Amazon delivery man knocked on my door today and asked if everyone was okay because he didn't have a package for us today. Wow. That's bad. That's bad. And Duel is awesome, says Richie. Yeah. Bring back Thomas Potts. Hey, I will tell you, you guys know, I consider Thomas a good friend. He's a good guy. He's been going through a little bit of a rough patch. And I have a feeling that his spirit is with us right now. Whoa, as I spill my drink all over myself. But I think his spirit is with us right now. So if you know what I mean, I think he's around. But, he's a great guy, and I know that he's got a lot of friends here. And I think he knows that too. But sometimes we need to be quiet, sometimes we need to be loud, and this is a quiet time for him. All right? And there, fortunately, didn't make too much of a mess. All right, where were we? Daniel says, Andrew, remember when Neo went back in time and created a branch reality, the Kelvin universe? Remember in the episode where Georgiou went back in time, they mentioned the Kelvin. Well, they mentioned a divergent timeline from a Romulan who went back in time, yes. They didn't mention the Kelvin by name, but they were obviously talking about the Kelvin universe, or the Kelvin timeline, which is fine, whatever. Excuse me. Night of the Lupus with DeForest Kelly. I don't recommend watching that with Matthew. He'll never forgive you. I don't know if I've seen that one. or Night of the Lepus. Is it Lepus or Lupus? It looks like Lepus. Hey, Andrew, could Mrs. Antrig recommend any Hammer films for movie night? Oh, Mrs. Antrig loves the Hammer horror films. But again, you know, they're fun, and they're cheesy, but they're not crazy cheesy. Remember, we want crazy cheese. We want cheese so bad it legally shouldn't be considered cheese. Have you seen Montego, the 60s Toho film about a group of shipwrecked people getting infected by parasitic mushroom spores turning into fungal zombie monsters? I have not. 24 was Birth of Anti-Trigger. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened to that one. So I couldn't find the original file for it. So that one is gone. Darren and I are still waiting for you to finish your review of the Incredible Hulk pilot episode. I know. And that's one of those things that I feel horrible about. But I'm going to get it done. But now that I'm on this new schedule, I'm working on getting some stuff settled as far as getting my time organized. And you guys could see I've actually made some progress. So, yeah, we're going to... Zardoz, great movie to... Oh, Zardoz is horrible. Man, you know, I just... Watching Sean Connery parade around in Zardoz. It's just... Anyway, when Guardian sent... It's not Guardian, it's Carl. Sent Georgiou into the mirror universe in the past that created a new branch reality. So that means where the Guardian sent Georgiou back to do Section 31 shows, same thing. Why do you say that? That's not how the Guardian works. Or at least not in prior Trek canon. Thomas Potts is awesome. Indeed he is. Moonjumper says, y'all should do a reaction movie TV night for some old classic, delightfully cheesy series like Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, Mike of Matthew, Land of the Giants, Man, Girl from Uncle, etc. You know, another thing I was actually thinking of eventually maybe just watching some of the worst Star Trek episodes. Like really bad Star Trek episodes. Like And the Children Shall Lead and Away to Eden and Encounter at Farpoint. And it's just the worst stuff ever. Anything from Discovery. And Darren says, Night of the Lapus. It means rabbits. Ah, yes! I've seen clips from it, but I've never seen it. Class of Nuke High is good. Love the Tromaville stuff. Some of the Troma films I like Toxic Avenger I actually really enjoyed. But most of the Troma stuff I just think is too low quality. Because you want it to be watchable, but bad. And it's a fine line, to me at least, to find a really good bad movie is almost as difficult as finding a great movie, you know, because really good bad movies have to have that perfect element of being sincerely attempted to make a good movie, but horribly failed. And the problem is that that's not what generally happens. A lot of these movies, like the Troma films and stuff, they know they're making crap and they're intentionally making it crappy. And that kind of reeks of insincerity sometimes when you watch it. You know they're just trying to make it bad. Section 31 will be a new reality along with Strange New Worlds, and even Ketwalski made a video on the subject. Daniel, don't care. Unless they say it in the show, it doesn't matter. How about Adventures of Baron Munchausen? That and Kung Pao are my favorite comedies ever. Do Kung Pao also. You know, I've never watched Kung Pao. I've seen clips of it that do look funny. Bird Prey's going to bed, so hope it says Nightbird, don't crash. Oh, best double entendre ever. Daniel says, next time I'm on a stream with you, got to talk about this because I did not get to last time. We will do that, Daniel. Although I don't know. I don't think it matters I don't think they're going to put it in a separate reality. There's really no point to it. They've already ruined the prime timeline. Why say, well, now we're going to separate things? If Manda appears in the monster verse, I want her to be redesigned to look more Python-like and destroy all monsters we saw wrapping around buildings. She should play that up. Okay. It's the lawn chair, Carl, not the Guardian. Yeah. Check out Incubus starring William Shatner. It's deliciously awful. You know, William Shatner was actually, I think it was Kingdom of the Spiders. That's actually not that bad a movie, all things considered. Spock's Brain is a good one, although not as bad as And the Children Shall Lead or The Way to Eden or Miri. There are some real bad ones. Watch Halloween, that's a good movie. But that's the problem, Daniel. It's a good movie. We don't want good movies. We want horrible movies. but horrible movies that are fun to watch. That's the trick. Night of the Leap is pronounced like Leap Us, as almost but not quite completely unlike cheese. Hey, Edgehanger, is there anything that Trek Strange New Worlds writers could do that would absolutely stop you from watching any new Trek series? Have them try to set up that Captain Kirk was born a woman. They do that, I'm out. Seriously, if they did something like that, I would absolutely be out. I would say at this point, until another company owns Trek, I'm done. That would cross the line. Moonjumper says, "Oh, do Galactica 1980." Ooh. You know, I've only managed to get through like the first 2 episodes, even when I was a kid. Oh, that would be painful. Darren says, "What would you say is the worst DS9 episode?" I can't think of any bad ones on the level of, say, Threshold or And the Children Shall Lead. You know, that's a funny thing about DS9. DS9 never quite rose to the heights of episodes like Best of Both Worlds or Balance of Terror, but it also never sunk to the lows of Threshold or even Encounter at Farpoint or And the Children Shall Lead, right? So DS9 has kind of hit an interesting zone there where there's nothing really, really bad, but nothing spectacularly great. There's some great story arcs, particularly the Dominion War stuff, but not, you know, and I know some people love In the Pale Moonlight. I think that episode, quite frankly, is a little overrated. It's really good, but I don't think that it's great. The Siege of whatever the name of that planetoid is, I can never remember. Another one, it's really good, but not quite that level of great. You know, not up there with the very best of TNG or the very best of TOS. Now, Voyager, on the other hand, sank down to the lowest of the low. Threshold, in my opinion, is still the single worst episode of all of Trek. However, you know, it also never rose to the, you know, their best moment, in my humble opinion, was Scorpion, and Scorpion is pale to compare to Balance of Terror or Best of Both Worlds. I would say that episodes like In the Pale Moonlight or Sacrifice of Angels were better than Scorpion. So that's about where I'm at with that. Watch Nuki. That is the worst bad movie. Never heard of it. Let's see. What if the Guardian of Forever was named Carl with a K? Well, it would still be Carl. Killer Clowns from Outer Space would be a great... I've seen that one. It's funny because we watched that one with Mrs. Andy Trekker and her best friend at the time, named Gina, and it scared Gina to death. No kidding. Daniel says, WandaVision is so good. Episode 1's in the 50s, 2 was in the 60s, 3 in the 70s. Episode 4 will be in the 80s. How many episodes are there in WandaVision? I don't know exactly how many episodes, but you know, I'm not convinced that episode 4 is going to be in the 80s. I think episode 4 is going to break the chain there. Worst DS9 episode, Move Along Home, or perhaps Prophet and Lace. I honestly, and you know, it's funny, Life with Matthews said this, and I think he's right. Move Along Home is not that bad an episode. It's just that stupid song is horrible. But the episode itself is not bad, and in fact, that's the episode that really shows you that Quark has a soul. Later, when you're free, I sent you a pic on Twitter of the Transformers Kong vs. Godzilla 2021. I'll check it out. What are your thoughts on the Pacific Rim movies as Matthew's seen them? I don't know if he's seen them. I liked the first one a lot. I thought the second one was kind of a mess. But I did really like the first one. Even though some of the mechanics of it make no sense. Like, why do you have to psychically link 2 people to control these mech suits? Doesn't make any sense, especially since both of them are moving in the exact same way to sync themselves up, which means one person should be able to do it just fine. That whole thing makes no sense whatsoever, but whatever. I want King Shisa, the Okinawan kaiju in the legendary movies. The American pronunciation is King Caesar. Oh yeah, I know what King Caesar is. Yeah, I remember that one. It kind of looks like, it almost looks like King Kong crossed with a Mogwai. Andy Trigger, how would you design the MonsterVerse version of Baragon? I make him look more like a mole in order to tie into the whole tunneling thing. You know what? I would make him look like I think it's called a star-nosed mole. I would make him look just... If you've never seen a star-nosed mole, they are already disturbingly creepy looking. Mortimus says, hello, how you doing, my friend? Is Agatha Harkness a bad guy? Because I heard there are times in the comics where she joined Wanda and assisted her. Well, Agatha Harkness, I mainly knew her as Franklin Richards' babysitter. The person to ask that would honestly be Darren. And so he's the one to ask about her. Because all I know her as is what she's appeared in Fantastic Four, and she's basically, you know, she is featured in a couple of stories, but most of the time she's just Franklin's babysitter. DS9 episode Duet is great. First season Duet is a great episode, but I still don't put it at the level of the truly great episodes of Trek. There's a nice game you and Bird might like, Mad Games Tycoon 2. Never heard of it, but, well, I don't know, Tycoon, That looks like a Bird kind of game for sure. It's like City Skylines kind of thing. But you start your own game development studio in 1976, build your own offices, production facilities, and server rooms, develop the game of your dreams, and produce the next-gen console. Rise from a small garage company to a huge corporation. That could be fun. I wonder if they're going to do multiplayer, because that could be fun. And let's see, where were we? I think DS9 is some of the greatest episodes of Star Trek ever. Episodes like Duet, The Wire, and The Visitor. See, I'm not saying those episodes were bad by any stretch, but I don't think they're as good as, say, Chain of Command or The Inner Light or Balance of Terror. I'm just saying. Siege of AR-33, a bloodshed episode of Deep Space Nine. I assume you mean watershed episode. Have you seen Gojira? Do you mean like the 1954 original Japanese version of Godzilla? Yes. Not the one that has Orson Welles in it, but the original version? Yes. Cherry 2000 is an awesome cheesy movie. I've never seen it. 9 episodes total for WandaVision. Thank you. I did not know. You want a bad movie? There's a 70s version of Wonder Woman is bad. Wonder Woman is a blonde. Yeah, I've seen pictures of it. But I don't know if you can legit get that one too. Because remember, I do make it a rule. Anything we watch, I have to be able to legitimately own. Valor says, Nuki, you want to kill Anti-Checker. Wow, is it that bad? Now I'm going to look it up. Nukie. Also, keep in mind that if the film has any like nudity or anything like that in it, I would have to go in and edit it because we will be while we won't be streaming the movie live on YouTube. There'll be images shown from the movie, and we don't control exactly where the images are because we use an algorithm to put the images together. Matthew has this great little program that makes a slideshow automatically. And so if there's naked people in there, then we violate YouTube terms of service if that picture pops up. So we got to be careful of that. Wow, that looks really horrible, all right. It's like a dude in a suit that's supposed to be an alien, I'm assuming. That looks really bad. Let's see. Hey, what about Critters or Scanners? I did, Scanners, I don't think Scanners is that cheesy. It's pretty good, actually. Daniel thinks King Caesar was creepy. Moonjumper says, if you had a local ME-TV channel, you might enjoy Saturday nights. Seven Ghoulie show does hilariously fun classic black and white sci-fi and horror movies. Been enjoying them. I do like some cheese. I really do. But I like sincere cheese. And that's important to me. I do, sometimes parody cheese can work, like the Sharknado films, but that's few and far in between. That's the exception that proves the rule. Most of the time when they're going for that, it fails. Sharknado is, kind of an odd man out in that department. But the best cheesy movies are movies that the director thinks they're making the greatest movie ever. Movies like The Room, movies like Birdemic, movies like Plan 9 from Outer Space. In all those cases, the director thought they were making a great movie. I like the Pacific Rim robot, Cherno Alpha, which reactor cooling tower for a head, like the Russians would name anything. Cherno. I was like, they name anything after Chernobyl. Yeah. All I want is Angus in Kong vs. Godzilla. I don't know that we're going to see. I mean, it did look like in the trailer we saw a glimpse of Rodan. But I don't think we're going to see a lot of the classic Godzilla monsters in this one. I think this is mainly going to be about Godzilla and Kong. I like to point out that the character in WandaVision is named Agnes. The character in the comics is Agatha Harkness. Yes. And so we don't know for sure that Agnes is Agatha Harkness. That's a good point. It's an assumption that a lot of fans are making, but we don't know for sure, and save that for when it comes out. When I first saw King Caesar in Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla, King Caesar gave me nightmares. Really? He always looked kind of funny to me. Enter, I only want the exilians to be used in the monster movies if underneath their human disguise they look like mechanized fish people like in Final Wars. Well, who knows? They could pull it off, right? Orson Welles is not in Gojira or Godzilla. Which one? Yeah, or not? Was it Orson Welles or was it the 1954 one? Remember, he was wasn't it Orson Welles? I thought it was. 1954. Now you make me look. And let's see. Go to. Come on, where is it? That's the Japanese version. I'm trying to find the American version. Because I know, unfortunately, with most of the Godzilla films, and this is unfortunate, but most of the Godzilla films, they didn't collaborate with the Americans to make a American release of it. But with the original 1954, they actually did. But I could have sworn it was Orson Welles. Or Raymond Burr! That's who it was. Raymond Burr. Ah. Dang, I don't know why I thought it was Orson Welles. Dang, Raymond Burr. So, yeah. Valiant was one of my favorite episodes of DS9, Homefront 1 and 2. Daniel says, hey, Trek, have you seen Godzilla Final Wars? Yes, I've seen every Godzilla movie at least once. And let's see. Yeah, I don't know why I thought it was Orson Welles. Sorry, guys, my bad. Nuki is so bad, the only one time it's enjoyable is when the Cinema Snob does a review of it. It's known as the Hardley's version of Mac and Me. Wow, that's pretty bad. In case you missed it, Deej Odyssey had a commanding victory this morning in Vile Mike's Weird Al Yankovic Jep Nerdy. Deej was impressive. Awesome. No, I was working all day. I worked a 12-hour shift today. Puppet Master is the littlest risk. Was bad. I'll tell you, you want to look a really bad? Try, what's it called? Retro Puppet Master. It stars the same guy that was the best friend of Tommy Wiseau in The Room. It is so bad. Oh. And the funny thing is that now this guy, he actually writes in his book, The Disaster Artist, that the movie was based on, which is kind of his memoirs about working with Tommy Wiseau. He talked about when he got the job for Retro Puppet Master that he got it because he got the role because he was the only person in audition that could do an authentic French accent. And then you listen to him in this movie, you're like, that is what they thought was an authentic French accent? Oh my God, he sounds like Inspector Clouseau. I mean, it's like horrible, but yeah. Dear Andrew, Anguirus deserves his own solo film. Not going to happen. Nobody cares about him. Daniel says, everyone and their mother doing reaction videos to Godzilla vs. Kong. Oh, I'm sure they are. I saw that, like, Mecha Random even did one. I'm like, really? Okay, whatever. You know what? I'm looking forward to it, but look, you guys haven't figured it out by now. One of the reasons my channel's never going to have 1 million subs is I don't surf the algorithm. It's funny how I was called fake. I was called a fake Trekkie or a purist because I didn't like Voyager, DS9, or Cisco, Picard. Because I don't like Voyager and DS9, nor Cisco, Picard, Janeway. It's funny. I was called a fake Trekkie or a purist. Well, you see, I like the original series best. I'm not ashamed to say that, but I do think that Picard after season 2 got good. And I like Cisco all the way through. Janeway, she was very inconsistently written, so I don't really like her. Archer, hit and miss. I think he was growing into the character, but unfortunately that show ended too soon. Howard the Duck, that's another one I have not seen. I've heard about how horrible it is, but I have never seen it. Bradley thinks we should watch Critters. I know I've seen Critters at least once, but I barely remember it. You guys are making me want to go on a Godzilla movie binge watch. Oh yeah, I own almost every Godzilla movie right now, and so yeah, I love Godzilla, and so I've been waiting for a modern retelling of Godzilla versus Kong for a very long time. What is your favorite Gamera episode from MST3K? I'll tell you. I don't remember which movie it was, but there was one gag they did that I still, to this day, and I'll say it every now and then, Mrs. Antrekker, she'll crack up because she remembers it very well. It's like they're singing this Gamera song. And it's like, Gamera, Gamera, right? And the music's playing. And so as the music's playing, the three guys start singing their own lyrics to the song. And they go, Gamera is really neat. He is made of turtle meat. We want some Gamera. And it was just like, oh, I love that. So that's all it was. The Vision is in the comic. The Vision in the comics had the original Human Torch's body. It was built by Henry Pym. I tell you, the MCU fans and their minds. I tell you that to MCU fans and their minds are blown. Well, of course, because they never read the comics. They don't know that the Human Torch was ever an android, right? They don't understand what that Human Torch-looking thing was from the original Captain America film. The one and only original, the one original kaiju in the legendary films I do like is Behemoth, basically a mammoth that moves like a gorilla. Yeah, that thing was interesting, but it's like it didn't seem like the most efficient design. But okay. Can't wait to see Doctor Strange in WandaVision. I don't know if he's going to show up. And Daniel, if you're speculating about stuff, I don't want to hear it because I just want to enjoy the series as it comes out, okay? Threshold's worst Trek of all time. Agreed. Hey, don't diz the duck. I'm not dizzing the duck. I've never seen it. Although I did like Howard the Duck's brief appearances in the Guardians of the Galaxy films. Here's about a bad, good movie you can watch. Halloween 6. Oh, Halloween 6 is horrible. It's not so bad it's good. It's just bad. It's painful to watch. Moonjumper says, a couple of years ago I bought a DVD or Blu-rays and watched all 33 Universal Monster movies which share continuity, and I began composing my own comprehensive timeline. Loved it. Yeah, there's a lot that's too bad that they really screwed the pooch on branding the Universal Dark Universe they were going to try to do, and honestly the problem is that it felt too much like they were trying to set up the Avengers just as monsters. Blaine has to take off. Have an early day tomorrow. Have a good one, Blaine. Mad Games Tycoon is multiplayer, but it says the mode is still in the early state. Oh, okay. Well, keep me informed, Josh. If they develop it, and it looks like it's good, might be worth trying. Threshold and that clip show from TNG, Children Shall Eat, are up there on my list of worst Trek episodes, but there's a difference between bad, not the best episode, and just stupid bad. Well, you see, that's the problem. Like with Threshold is mind-numbingly bad. But it's so bad, it can actually be fun to watch. And ironic that episode won an Emmy Award. And, which, yeah, that's still, yeah. But the problem is, like, with Discovery, the badness of Discovery is a combination of bad writing, like we got in Threshold and other episodes, but also just the fact that it's clear they don't care about Star Trek, right? And that's what really makes it hurt. So, yeah. Let's see. How about Halloween 3 Season of the Witch? No Michael Myers. That one, you know what? It's not horribly bad like Halloween 6 was. It just doesn't belong in the franchise. Have you seen Peter Jackson's black and white stop motion recreation of the insect pit sequence? It's right here on YouTube. And my favorite is the tentacle creature. I have not. Jason X was terrible. Jason X was terrible. Remember in the Loki series when Loki takes the Tesseract? Remember in the Loki series when Loki takes the Tesseract and he disappears? Remember the next scene after we see an energy beam shoot into the sky? That was symbolic. Loki created a new universe. Well, we already knew that. I mean, they set that up already. But I did not see that an energy beam shot into the sky from that. all I saw was that Loki disappeared. Anyway, Darren says, I remember when the clip shows were a normal thing for television. It used to be a way to give the cast and crew a week off for Christmas and the like the SFM Holiday Network. Yeah, but, I mean, obviously Star Trek has only done one true clip show, and it was horrible. And I know, writer's strike, blah, blah, blah. Don't care. It was still a bad episode. Dark Star was a cheese fest. Not seen it. Hey, Jerry, didn't NBC, CBS, ABC make a cheesy Justice League TV movie decades ago? I remember they did a TV special based on the Justice League, and I remember seeing it and it was really bad, but I don't know where you could find it. It's all right. He just wanted his machete back. Yeah, jeez. Don't remind me of Jason X. Yeah, Jerry, what's the one moment from the original 60s King Kong vs. Godzilla which annoys you the most? I don't know. It just, I mean, maybe part of it is that Kong is just a guy in a gorilla suit. And the fact that they gave him lightning powers that made no sense. I just don't think it's one of the better Godzilla movies. I know a lot of people like it just because, it's King Kong versus Godzilla, but I never thought it was one of the better Godzilla movies. I mean, for cheese Godzilla, you can't beat Godzilla versus Megalon. And so and for serious classic Godzilla, honestly, you can't beat the 1954, the original. It was really, I mean, that was a downright scary movie. Even though the visual effects were complete crap, it was a scary movie. That movie gave me nightmares when I was a little kid. The clip shows Dr. Pulaski's final appearance. It also had one of her best moments when O'Brien tried to joke with her while she was at the transporter. I know, but it was just bad. Come on. Danny says, Halloween 6 was so 90s. I loved it. It brings back my decade, the 90s. And I remember we saw Power Rangers toys on that kid's desk. Loved the transforming toys. Remember the commercials. Well, but the thing is, maybe it's because you're younger than me. So for me, the 90s, I don't feel particularly nostalgic about. I mean, in the 90s, the nice things about the 90s that I remember is getting married, having my daughter, it was like, yeah, I was already adulting in the 90s, I love Godzilla vs. Megalon. It's sad he never returned. Well, I would love to see, honestly, what would be hilarious would be to see someone that has the time and the money. I'll tell you, here's what I would do. I seriously would do this. If I won one of those ridiculously large, Powerball was like $800 million or something, right? I'll take a little bit of that money, say take $50 million, hire some visual effects artists and stuff, and recreate the fight scenes from Godzilla vs. Megalon, not changing anything. Not changing a single move they make, but using the modern CG models that we see of Godzilla and Kong, and then create a new Jet Jaguar, Megalon, and stuff. And I think that would be so fun because it's just so bad. Let's see. The miniature tanks, jets in the Godzilla movies were awesome. Yeah, but they were just so fake too. Kong had lightning powers because it was going to be Godzilla versus Frankenstein. They didn't bother to rewrite the final battle, got lazy. Yeah, but yeah, it's just stupid. I often wonder how the real world will react to a big monster like 1954 Godzilla or Cloverfield. Well, that's why, honestly, Darren, I think Cloverfield is an underrated film. I really like Cloverfield. It's probably my favorite found footage movie because it felt much more real than like a typical Godzilla movie and stuff. And so, yeah, thought it was brilliant. Biggest problem with Discovery Season 3, 32nd Century Federation Starfleet was way too familiar. They created the TOS era that was unrecognizable, but 900 years later, now they go conventional. Yeah, go figure. I thought Gigan was cool. I like the Final Wars version. I don't remember what he looked like in Final Wars, but I thought Gigan was an interesting idea. Not very practical. I mean, how do you eat? Dr. Pulaski was to Data as McCoy was to Spock. She had fun giving Data a hard time. I like Dr. Pulaski upon rewatching her. I still think season 2 of TNG sucked, but Pulaski was an improvement for sure over Crusher. And unfortunately, they brought Crusher back, and while the show continued to improve, it would have been better had Pulaski stayed. Why they I don't know why the cast never got along or whatever. Don't know the politics behind it, but it's too bad because I think she was a better character. Love the Maser tanks in the Toho film. They're in almost every one. They have electricity guns on them. Yeah, they're kind of cool. They are definitely cool. And Burnham versus Godzilla. Well, we all know Burnham is awesome and can't be defeated by anything. So there is that. All right, guys. So don't tell me Cloverfield sucked, Resolute. Cloverfield did not suck. Anyway. Some people. Season 2 suck. You trying to activate my caveman DNA? Yes, indeed, Darren, and you can see it worked. Because I know one of your favorite episodes, if not your absolute favorite episode, is in Season 2. All right, so I am going to wrap it up there, guys, but thank you for hanging out with me. Those of you that were willing to support Admiral of Doom's GoFundMe, thank you for that. I wanted to check and see if anybody else has given since we've been going here. And yes, wow, you guys, awesome. So I do want to say thank you to everybody that donated, but man, that is great. So there's myself, Jeff, John, Purple, Thomas, Bird O'Prey 5, Resolute Germ, someone who remained anonymous, Blaine, Bionic Belly Button, 47 Yorktown, and another person who remained anonymous, and just us nerds in like less than 2 hours have raised $417. So thank you to all of you. That is so awesome. And hopefully we'll more than double that tomorrow during Captain Trek stream. If you haven't already, please, and I know I say this a lot, but I really, really implore you, tomorrow morning, try to make some time to watch a little bit of Captain Trek stream. The link is in the description. You can click on it right now and save it and go there tomorrow morning. Please do. Show some love. You know, Admiral Doom was a friend of the channel. And I'm going to start working on his rules for as little short videos to start coming out either tomorrow or Tuesday. So thank you guys again. It was a rough week, but I think we even though it's funny because I know Sunday is technically the first day of the week, but last week was hard. We did our best to get through it. This week we'll do better. And no music, of course. I keep forgetting to put the music on, so yeah. Do 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 do. It's the Anti-Tracker Show. It's the Anti-Tracker Show. DJ knows his Weird Al. It's the Anti-Tracker Show. Bradley's taking off, saying L-L-A-P all. Me poo, me poo, me poo, 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 poo. Bird O'Prey 5 sucks. Bird O'Prey 5 sucks. Bird O'Prey 5 sucks. The Anti-Tracker Show. The Anti-Tracker Show. The Anti-Tracker Show is gone now. Now it's the Anti-Tracker Show. Bradley's taking off, saying L-L-A-P all. Me poo, me poo, me poo, 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 poo. Bird O'Prey 5 sucks. Bird O'Prey 5 sucks. Bird O'Prey 5 sucks. The Anti-Tracker Show. The Anti-Tracker Show. The Anti-Tracker Show is gone now. Now it's the Anti-Tracker Show. Bradley's taking off, saying L-L-A-P all. Me poo, me poo, me poo, me poo, me poo, poo. Bird O'Prey 5 sucks. Bird O'Prey 5 sucks. Bird O'Prey 5 sucks. The Anti-Tracker Show. The Anti-Tracker Show is gone now. Is gone now. Bradley's taking off, saying L-L-A-P all. Is gone now. Me poo, me poo, sucks. The Anti-Tracker Show. The Anti-Tracker Show is gone now. Is gone now. The Anti-Tracker Show.
is gone now.